a very warm welcome to Borders Rugby Special. This evening we're at the Greenyards for the Border League match between Melrose and Selkirk. Melrose must win tonight if they want to stay in contention within their pool, but with Selkirk looking for their first win since November, we're sure to be in for a competitive and entertaining game tonight. Before we head to the commentary box, let's have a word with the coaches.
We're giving a couple of young boys a shot, so you know it's a window essentially to have a look at kind of squad as well for next season and give a couple of young boys an opportunity. You know, it's quite exciting. We've got a few seconds in the back line and we've actually got 2 under-18s on the bench tonight, so you know, it'll be interesting and it'll be great to see what they can do. You're a Premiership side, Melrose are National 1, but it doesn't really mean anything tonight, does it? No, I don't think, you know, it's local derby and they say the form goes out the window, but I think, you know, if you look at both teams, you know, even the Melrose team today as well, you know, they're obviously giving a lot of their youngsters an opportunity, but I dare say they're probably in a position that they've been winning games and, you know, they've got a huge amount of confidence, whereas, as you say, we're probably at the opposite end of that, but it's good, we can bin that, there's no pressure, it's our first game. They've obviously had Kelso already and been defeated by Kelso, so I mean, the pool's wide open, so I mean, look, it's a huge opportunity for us tonight.
So you really need to have the win tonight to stay in contention within the pool. So how have you prepared for that in training this week?
Yeah, obviously, so the result is important tonight, so we've taken it seriously. Tuesday, Thursday night, full team run, full week of training and really had a focus on the performance, and hopefully the result will take care of itself from that.
Friday night games, they're different, but it's something that you kind of prepare for as well, and boys have known that we've had a Friday night game for, you know, the last couple of months. We're also playing Kelso later in the month on a Friday night as well, so you know, I think it's quite nice. I think it's a change, I think it's a bit refreshing. Obviously we've got a good night here, pitch as well, you know, it's immaculate pitch, so I mean we can't complain the conditions, and look, the boys are looking forward to it.
Selkirk are obviously a Premiership side, you're a National 1, but this is the Border League. Anything could happen tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So we played Selkirk in pre-season in Musselburgh, so we've played a couple of Premiership sides and we've won both games. So, a really good opportunity for the boys again, just to really challenge themselves, like you say, against a Premiership club. But looking forward to it.
And how do you motivate yourself on a Friday night? You know, it's a long day after a hard day's work. How do you get that focus that you need for a game?
I'm pretty motivated. I like a Friday night game. The boys reckon this might be the first Friday night first team game for Melrose, other than the Southern Knights playing, so that's quite exciting, a bit of history, but a real buzz. The boys are buzzing in the changing room and just looking forward to getting out on the pitch.
Good evening everyone, and on the eve of the start of the 2022 Six Nations Championship, we bring you action from the oldest rugby union league in the world, as another titanic clash between Melrose and Selkirk is about to get underway from the Greenyards in the Border League. We've got two teams in different leagues in the national landscape and they're in contrasting form, but this is a chance to press the reset button in a tight pool alongside table toppers Kelso and stake a claim for the Border League Championship. Selkirk, who are playing their first game in the pool, have used this opportunity as a chance to try and blood some new and emerging talent. Usual faces Nixon, McDougall and Bett will be hoping to lend their experience to the younger members of the squad. Davidson and Coburn form a new pairing on the wings, and in the forwards the chance to impress falls to Haldane and Broach, the latter of which made his debut only recently for the Suitors. The home side, who are the reigning Border League champions, know only a win will keep their hopes alive in retaining the trophy, and they've lined up with a very strong squad, boosting a handful of ex-Southern Knights. Finn Douglas will be looking to try and get through the gears on the wing and exhibit his pace, as he's a player who's going to be testing this inexperienced back three of Selkirk. In the forwards, we've got Colvin barking orders behind the scrum, but keep an eye out in the back row. We've got the likes of Lindsay and Fairbairn there, but also Sam Derrick, who's on the radar of the Southern Knights, and they're hoping to snap him up, but he's going to have his hands full against the unorthodox McClymont and Co for the visiting team this evening, and it's going to be the 20-time Border League champions to get play underway here. The first time Melrose have played under the lights here at the Greenyards in this surface, and it's a high kick there from Xander Ramage, the rangy number 10, but it's not a good start for the young fly half, and it goes out in the full, and that's not the way they'd wanted that to go, Robin.
No, and I've heard good things about Ramage. He seemingly has been going well in the second team this season, and yeah, it's going to be a step up for him this evening, but you know, that'll hopefully be an early blip that he'll overcome. A lot of experience in youth in both sets of teams here, and I think that perhaps does point to the landscape of club rugby at the moment, especially with the likes of the Border League fixtures kind of just falling anywhere they can in the calendar. But it's a snipe from the base there from Ethan McVicker, who knows this place very well. He tries to stab the ball forward, and he does find some hands there. Sam Coburn, the young winger, was one of the guys flying in there trying to get the ball, but it has come back on a Selkirk side. Selkirk, who are 6 times Border League champions,
They had a lot of success at the late 2000s, but it's a break here, scything through the line here. We've got Jack Hamilton, he's made a break, he throws it dummy in, but Bruce Colvin's back defending really, really well there. The scrum half sweeping up well, Jack Hamilton just piercing through the line, and Selkirk are now in a very dangerous position. And there's a big Tom Brown now looks to try and get his name on the score sheet in a place he knows very well. And Selkirk diving closer towards that line, and you can see Bruce Colvin in there as well, the number 9 donning his back this evening.
Fine early break from Jack Hamilton. He sized through that gap like a hot knife through butter, and it looked for all the world like Selkirk would score there. He almost got in sort of two minds as he got close to the line. Did he dummy and go? Did he pass? And possibly an early opportunity gone.
It's always interesting to see how teams approach this new dropout, and it's now Hamilton, not bad for a scrum half playing fullback, gets it onto the wing, and it's Davidson now looking to try and scamper his way, but he's been wrapped up well by Logan Kirk, man who likes to be in the wars. He's done well there to tackle, but it was almost an interception, but Clark gets the ball away to Nixon, who's as ever trusty as ever in support, ready just to set the platform up in midfield. Now McClyman going round the corner and looking to try and use a bit of his unorthodox skills to try and unlock this Melrose defence, but again met well by some rangy defence, and it's going to be a penalty to Selkirk. McVicker trying to get in there quickly. It's a scrappy ball, but it was almost swept up well there, but it's Cal McNeil who spilled the ball, and now Melrose looking to try and stretch the field, and it looks like there might be a little gap here, and it's Lewis Mallon with the ball in hand. He's got a one-on-one here, looking to try and go round the outside, and he stands up his man. He's going down the tram side, he's got some support there, steps inside Jack Hamilton, just gets himself on the road enough to thwart that effort. It was a great run from Lewis Mallon, and now it's Melrose's chance to try and attack deep inside the Selkirk 22. Good run there from Ross McConnell, and the ball getting through the hands now. Steady pace here as they look to try and stretch the defence. Gav Wood getting the ball over to the far side, and now it is Finn Douglas. Finn Douglas looks to try and see if he can get over the line. It looks like it's been a score, and that is lightning from Melrose, going from their own try line pretty much under immense pressure. A mistake and straight up the other end, and it's Finn Douglas, the man that I've said beforehand he's a man to keep an eye out for, but he gets the opening score this evening.
Coast to coast from Melrose, coming from the Selkirk knock on. Lewis Mallon, he's adept at number 6 as well, but I always think he looks a player on the wing, and he burned his man on the outside there, and it was recycled to all the way over to the other winger, the youngster Finn Douglas. And yeah, you're right, Dale, we've spoke a lot about him, and he certainly showed like he knows his way to the try line there. The wind is starting to pick up, and we wonder what kind of bearing that's going to have in the game, but it's certainly been a bright start from both teams. The try almost being against the run of play. Yeah, definitely against the run of play. I'll agree with you there, but it's a restart there. It was almost contested there. Scott McClyman put in Angus Runciman under a bit of pressure, but it came back secure on a Melrose side, and the experienced boot now of Bruce Colvin just hoists it high into this night sky at the Greenyards underneath this 3G surface. And now Jack Hamilton has been wrapped up well by Gav Wood, and Selkirk try and bundle some bodies in there and try and add their weight to this, but I think Melrose have perhaps got the choke on here, and they're going to suffocate this ball and try and win the scrum. And it's always an obvious play for teams, but it's you know, the referee's only got one decision there.
Yeah, it's interesting because the first two Melrose penalties against Melrose have come from them trying to do the same thing, but the Selkirk player got to ground, didn't release, so there was a penalty that time. They kept him up. Selkirk player joined, you got them all, turnover ball, easy call for Graham. Yeah.
And you'll see Shafagjak on the left hand side of the scrum for Selkirk. He's recently just joined the club, Polish and Welsh links. He's going to be a big player to keep an eye out for, and adds a bit of depth to that front row. They've got the likes of Petty and Riddle and Francis on the bench, but he adds a little bit more competition as Selkirk perhaps have a little eye on next year. And Melrose just shifting the point of target, but Selkirk sprint out the line there, and McVicker looking to try and maybe reintroduce himself to some of his ex-teammates there as he bursts out the line to put in the hit, but the referee has noticed that there has been an infringement there. It's going to be a penalty, and slowly but surely we're starting to see a bit Melrose of old. You know, they're starting to control this game, win the penalties, win the contacts, and start to really bully teams. And now Melrose, who hit Sam Derrick, the Edinburgh under-20, he's a player to keep an eye out for. Now Gav Wood getting through the hands to McWilliam, now to the fullback Crawford, who finds Mallon bang on there as they were going through the hands. It looked like it was bang on, but Graham Ormiston's going to disagree with me. The kick had went out in the full anyway, but Melrose, when they're stretching that ball, they're looking very, very dangerous. You probably, through the duration of the game, hear the likes of Bruce Colvin maybe trying to influence play, and he's all, you reft him quite a bit as well.
Yeah,
he's a great captain.
Half. Yeah, exactly. I think just like a lot of them, they're very good to be in your ear. Sometimes they take it too far, sometimes they get it right.
Yeah,
and as long as they respect that, it's fine.
A man of great experience, and it's great to see him back. He's a busy man with his own business, his own electrical firm, but he's still pitching out on the field. But he's came back to another experienced member here in Ross Nixon, looking to just try and punch himself up through this field. And it's now been set up there as it's just tipped on there from McDougall. He finds McClyman, and the back row linking up well, and McDougall in the thick of it again, looking to just try and make a nuisance of himself in the tight areas. And he's been stripped there. Graham Ormerson making things very, very clear to both teams there as well. As Melrose again look to try and shift that target. Runciman just going direct again. And he's been met well there by Davidson on the wing for Selkirk. Maybe a little bit of a mismatch in terms of position, but Davidson was not to be outdone there. And now it's Crawford who's hitting a rich vein of form. He was the man of the match against Highland last week, and he's looking like he's got an extra yard or two in his pace. He looks rapid.
Yeah, I referred to him in my report last week as deceptively quick, but he actually looked quick. There, I have to say, he was absolutely outstanding. He was the man of the match by a considerable distance last week against Highland, Don Crawford, and yeah, he looked like he was full of intent there, and he's going to hope, to continue in the same vein.
Yeah, he's a player who's sometimes a master of his own downfall because of his skill set. Finds himself in the centre and 10 quite a lot as well. He looks really comfortable at fullback. Obviously, the absence of David Colvin as well is a blow for Melrose here after he got a red card against Biggar a couple of weeks ago. But Crawford is really putting in some good performances here. He's started this game brightly, really breaking into the line and offering himself up in attack. And that's going to be something, it's certainly a way that Melrose are looking to play as well. Really stretch this field. This is a game that Melrose have to win if they want to try and retain the Border League. They've got a good start with that 5-pointer from Finn Douglas. And the scrum looks like it's creeping up a little bit, and Ethan McVicker, who's got the attention to Bruce Colvin, and it's good work from the scrum half to spoil that, and it's come back on a Melrose side. And now a good tip on there. Melrose charging closer to the line. It's Ross McConnell who's benefited from the tip on from Jack Dobie. And now Cruikshank. He offers himself up just to try and barge over the line. Runciman now just nipping behind that deceptive run from Gav Wood, looking to try and fix the defence, and Melrose getting closer and closer to the line. They now dart over, and that looks like Sam Derrick is the player who's got over there for the score.
Yeah, Melrose just look a different pack of forwards with that with that pair to the fore.
Sam Derrick, in the games that I have seen Melrose this season, I've been highly impressed with his just all-round skill set, and the conversion has been added by Xander Ramage, so he gets his first points of this evening. 12 points to 0 now. Melrose lead, which does breathe a bit of life back into their Border League campaign. Melrose now from the restart, just retrieving that securely again, just punching it downfield from the boot of Colvin, and Jack Hamilton's in the right position again here. He just spills that ball out. Sam Coburn perhaps getting a little bit tight, but he's doing well to try and sweep this ball up. He's under immense pressure over on that far side. Good accurate line out there again is Ross McConnell, who's certainly putting a power of work earlier on in this fixture. He rises the highest, and it's a secure maul again, and Bruce Colvin going round them all there and just trying to take the point of attack a little bit closer to that defensive line. And showing his experience yet again, and Cruikshank, another player who's got an abundance of that. Now finds Ramage. Ramage has got Crawford on a supporting angle there, and Melrose again just looking to try and stretch the point of attack and hitting the runners up pretty wide in terms of just outside the shoulder of 10, and going through the hands again. It's maybe just getting a little bit flat there on that occasion from Logan Kirk, who maybe was just encroaching, just a bit keen there trying to gather the ball. But it's certainly been a tasty encounter so far. And McVicker, who is pretty secure around the back of that scrum there, he finds Sam Coburn in a move that we'd seen earlier on from Melrose, and it's maybe the Scott White influence there, trying to bring the wingers into the game and fix that defence. And McVicker just trying to get some players round into a position where they can actually launch an attack, and McClyman taking that standing still and looking to try and drive himself through this Melrose defence. But on that occasion, he's been met with a lot of White resistance there. And Melrose doing well on the floor yet again to get that ball back on their side, and it's past to Cruikshank and Dobie, and the props linking up well yet again, and getting the ball quickly through the hands And now they come back on this side against the grain, and Wood floats that ball over. And that's a great tackle there from Davidson, because it did look like Lindsay, if he could have shrugged that tackle off, he had oodles of space in behind to just try and dot the ball down. He had pretty much the easy job to do. But Melrose just go again through Ramage. Ramage just not being able to get the ball through the hands quick enough. And now it is on a Selkirk side, and it's Hamilton looking to try and break free, but just that trailing arm from a Melrose tackler just dislodges the ball. And the ball's going to be back, and Ormiston issuing that the fact that the advantage was there to be taken, and Wood just pinging the ball in behind. And Jack Hamilton, it's Ethan McVicker, in behind, sweeping up, and he's looking to go from deep now. He's wanting to try and take the attack straight to Melrose, and that is a great attack and run. It's Bet on the shoulder, looking to try and offload this, and now Tom Brown, the ball maybe drifted on forward there, but I think Ethan McVicker's got a point to prove this evening, hasn't he?
He's seen the A-man, and he put his head down, and he thought, and he said, I am coming for you. And
a slight guy against somebody who's quite tall, he's going in full tilt, guy planted. There's the danger of riding up in the tackle as well.
I think this is the really difficult one we're seeing, and especially when you've got video referees and TMO, where they can slow everything down, and it always looks an awful lot worse. And there are such things as collisions. It's a contact sport.
Yeah,
right. Graham was spot on there. Say McVicker went in against a bigger guy. He took him on and said, "No, this is me. I'm going to take this one."
It's great to see. It is left Selkirk in a vulnerable position here, as Colvin does find Crawford and takes the free kick quickly, and he looks to put the hitch kick in. McNeil having none of it and just wraps up the wanton and fledging attack there from Melrose, but again they're quick to the breakdown. Cruikshank perhaps not too sturdy on his feet there, but it is another chance for Melrose to attack, and it's Fairbairn. It's his first real chance with the ball in hand this evening, and Colvin finding Kirk making some yards there, and the ball's through the hands now, and Ramage looking to find Wood. Wood thought about throwing that pass, but the defensive line was up very, very quickly there from Selkirk. But again, here come Melrose round the side, and again trying to keep that tempo high to try and really stretch and tire out this Selkirk defence. And Colvin's there quickly yet again. Crawford standing up at first receiver. He's been tackled by two Selkirk players there, and Colvin again quickly there. McWilliam, he finds Mallon looking to try and go on the inside of McNeil, and again just a wee ankle biter getting round there. Recycles himself well. And now Fairbairn, and Melrose relentless here in attack. There's a little gap there. If they can get the ball back on the inside, it does eventually come. Ramage running that short line inside of Wood. Wood just caught in two minds there. And now Dobie looking to just get that secure platform to try and launch an attack again. And now through the hands of Kirk. Kirk finds McWilliam finds Crawford, and now Derek, and he looks like he's breaking free. He's looking to try and get the offload. Heads up Rugby from the loose forward. And now this is where Melrose are dangerous from. This is where they got their score from earlier on, getting closer and closer to that line. And Colvin again, the pressure is relentless here, and Gav Wood looking to just bounce off his right foot and go back inside, but again met with some good defence. And Colvin finding Runciman round the corner there. I think he's got over the line, and I think the referee just shown that's held off. I think the post perhaps in that occasion. Very fortunate for them.
Yeah, there was almost an air of inevitability about a Melrose score there, and it would have been a very deserved score for that man Runciman if it came off. He for me has been the standout player in this fixture thus far, and they're carrying so hard this evening. They really look up for this. The number of games I've seen this season, I can't think I've left a game where I've thought the referees are an absolute howler there today. Is there a general improvement across the board? I can't think the last time I've seen what I'd class as a bad refereing performance
since Herdy left.
I was going to say that. I don't do many games nowadays, but thanks very much for that. I think, I don't know, it's good to know. I think possibly players and officials are maybe trying to be a bit more sensible with the whole thing.
Crawford just kicking the ball in behind. It's been a fortunate bounce of the ball there for Crawford. It looks like it's going to get under his spell, but it's a knock on there. And again, Melrose just shown from deep. There's I don't know what Crawford's been doing these last few weeks, but it looks like he's went up a level and up a gear in terms of his confidence and his ability.
Yeah, he's got that space. I'd be looking not to kick it to him from those dropouts, because he's going to get ahead up. He's going to get up ahead of steam as well. And as I said before, he's a big old rig as well as having the pace.
Defensive scrum here for Selkirk. against Melrose. They're not playing the Southern Knights, even though the tops may hint at that. A little colour clash has led to Melrose donning the white tops of the Super 6 team, the Southern Knights, and that is again a really intense scrum there from Melrose, putting the pressure on to Selkirk, but has been swept up well. It's like good work at the set piece from Selkirk to get that ball back, and now trying to get the ship a little bit steadier in these very blustery and windy conditions. And Selkirk looking to just be a little bit more pragmatic about their approach to try and exit here. The Melrose try and pile in at the breakdown to make a nuisance of themselves, and McVicker is tasked with trying to kick that. He's got a little bit of wind at his back, but Mallon's grabbed that well. It's went over the head of Crawford. I think Selkirk will be happy it has, but now it's in the hands of flyer Finn Douglas, and he puts in a lovely pass over at the far side to McWilliam, and he takes the ball up to the 10 metre line. And again, Selkirk try and clear their lines, and they're met with some intent attack again from Melrose. And now Selkirk kicking downfield. You can see the flag above the stand fluttering in the wind. It is really, really strong here. Put into the scrum there, and it's come back on the Selkirk side, and Sam Coburn again offering himself up from the wing, and he puts in a good pass to Ross Nixon, who just does the dirty work and ships it on to him. And now Brown, who's taken that forward, and I think he's perhaps been swarmed there by his ex-teammates. Gav Wood looking to go quickly, but the referee going to bring that back. And the referee pretty hot on that, and again Melrose down very, very quickly to thwart that attacking attempt.
Yeah, I mean you had 3 Melrose defenders against Thomas Brown, so the 2 guys went low. Gav Wood just stayed on his feet. As soon as the tackle was made, he got straight in over the top. Simple decision for Graham to make, but Selkirk weren't there, they didn't have extra men there to clear out, so that was the problem.
And now Melrose, I think Bruce Colvin perhaps just having a little spy in behind to see if the box kick was on. Sam Coburn was very flat, but they opt to find a runner. And now going against the grain, and Ramage get the ball through the hands.
Off feet, leave it, no. Off his feet.
And Messi at the breakdown, off his feet there. That was Scott Clark who was penalised there at the breakdown. It's now starting to get a bit needly in there in these close exchanges. And Melrose into the hands of Wood. Wood has found McConnell. And now Cruikshank finds Ramage round the corner. Now Crawford looking to try and get that 2-on-1. But again, Callum McNeil just dragging onto the coattails there of the attacker. Defensively, he's been pretty solid so far when they've tried to go down his channel. And now Colvin. Again, Gav Wood offering himself up for first receiver. Now he's going to come back for a penalty, and again Melrose, they're looking to play wide. They're looking to test these outside backs from Selkirk.
That clearly is the game plan so far in this game, and again we keep referring back to him, but that man Crawford looks like he is almost too hot to handle for Selkirk at the moment.
I've been impressed with Ramage as well. His skill set is very, very high for a player who's had a lot of good reports from the Storm. He's a rangy 10, but there was also another rangy 10 in Scott White who's had a pretty decent career. You know, he's in a great environment to push on from. It's getting back on a Selkirk side, and it's Panning Station stood down for the time being, and Tom Brown now looking to try and go down the channel. He was met with Derek, and he takes him a couple of yards as well for a little drive. Now to find Nixon. Nixon looks to get the ball through the hands, but he's not able to find a runner. It was Hamilton who was trying to run a really tight line off the shoulder, maybe perhaps a little bit too tight on that occasion. And now McVicker, he's found Haldane. He's came back on a Melrose side, but illegally. So Selkirk are managing to ride the storm just now. It's always difficult coming to the Greenyards. I don't think it matters if you're playing the Southern Knights, the Melrose of old, or the new age Melrose team. It's very difficult to try and unpick the winning fabric that Melrose teams do have, and they seem to still have it in abundance here. But Beck doing well to be quickest to the ball on that occasion. From his line out, it just got slapped down, and he was the first man there. And now McDougall again, the workhorse back row for Selkirk. just pops up everywhere to offer himself up for a carry, and on that occasion he just runs straight into traffic. But Nixon now looking to go direct and try and offload, get the ball through the hands and get that loose arm going. They've won the Border League 20 times. The second most successful team in the Border League, following on from Hoyk, who've got a massive 49 Border League titles. Gallot on 12, Jed Forest 10, Selkirk 6, Kelso 5, Langham 1, Peebles none. Ethan McVicker now takes a quick free kick, gets the ball through the hands to Clark, who's the Selkirk's top point scorer in the Tennent's Premiership. He's been in and out of the team and just tries to get the ball and hit that flat line, but just coughed up possession yet again for Selkirk, and they turn the ball back into Melrose hands, and Ramage hitting the flat Cruikshank. You have to watch how you say that. He's hit the Cruikshank flat there. That is going to come back for a knock on. Two scrums clashing together again, locking horns. Relatively new look front row, but it came back. Are very secure on that occasion. Now Crawford getting the ball through the hands. Now Mallon's got a bit of space to gallop into. He looks to try and step up Jack Hamilton, but the scrum half, who's a bit of a sevens expert as well, does well to wrap up Mallon on that occasion. Now Cruikshank breaking the first tackle. It was Declan Broach who was the loose tackle there, and now Ramage getting McWilliam on the shoulder. Tried to keep the ball alive and now runs them in, and there's numbers up this side for Melrose if they can get the ball quickly away from that breakdown. And they find Wood, and Wood looking to go alone yet again. He's perhaps been guilty of doing that maybe one or two times so far, but the ball has came round to Logan Kirk now, and again Selkirk swarming on that ball, and there's going to be an advantage. Can Melrose take advantage here? Can they benefit from this advantage? And they do. It's a ball there from Crawford. He has found Ramage, and the youngster gets his first try of the evening to add to his conversion. And if anything on the run of play, it's just rewards for Melrose.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one, Dale. It's no less than Melrose have deserved. Again, good work by Crawford in there, and the young man Ramage. He's going to be absolutely delighted by that. A try, first game under the lights. It doesn't get much better than that for a youngster.
Ramage with a great kick from the touchline. If that doesn't do anything for your confidence, I don't know what will. But the youngster adding 2 more points to his try. And there's going to be Hamilton to sweep up. The left-footed kick downfield, and it's an awkward ball. It's bounced well for the Suitor. It does bounce out, and Melrose again. I think the game plan's pretty obvious for Melrose. Let's keep the ball alive, let's play. And it's Crawford now just piercing through the defence. He's managing to stay top as well. I think he's going to go in. Is he going to go the distance? He's trying to get round Jack Hamilton, but Jack Hamilton was down there, makes the tackle. Melrose have to get there quick if they want to keep the tempo high. It's Dobie offloading, just can't get it to Cruikshank through the legs, trying to keep this in, but the referee has noticed that's went forward. And what is Crawford doing? He's inspired this evening. Absolutely slicing through the defence. He's just got such a great balance when he runs, and I think he's got a yard or two quicker as well, because I remember him being quick, and quite deceptively quick as you say, but perhaps not that quick. And that's a very awkward ball, awkward height, but McVicker and Hamilton mixing up well, and again Mallon just retrieving the ball. It's now that danger man Crawford getting the ball through the hands, and he does make mistakes, he's human, but he finds Finn Douglas, and Finn Douglas looking to try and just go direct, not held there, and he just powers through a couple of challenges, and it's again just popped up there. There's Bruce Colvin, still got some young running in the legs. It's going to be Sam Derrick underneath the sticks, and that is great. Eyes up rugby, tempo, keep the ball alive, get the ball back into play.
They've got so much intent. Lewis Mallon there, you had no other thought in his mind than to get it back on the field of play, to get it Crawford. Crawford got it to Douglas. Douglas went hard, a few more phases, and they're under the sticks, and it is no less than they have deserved in this first half.
There'll be time for the restart.
We're going to watch Ramage take the conversion. He does add the extras, so he gets another conversion this evening. 26 points to 0 now, but Selkirk are really not learning from what's happened to them so far in the game, because as much as the restarts are very accurate, they're maybe a little bit too accurate, because they've always went right down the throat and runs them in, and the big second row just gobbles them up all day. and it's going to be Colvin. Just takes the penalty, stabs it into touch, and he brings proceedings to a close. Job done really for Melrose in the first half. They've got the bonus point in the bag with the 4 tries. You know, they have played very, very well after that opening 5 minutes, but they've still got a job to do here, and so does Selkirk. Selkirk have used this opportunity to try and bleed in some youth and try and introduce some new players. So there is still a lot of rugby in the second half to be played. It is Melrose 26, Selkirk 0. A little wry smile from the fly half, and he gets play back underway here at the Greenyards. And it's going to be a real battle here for Selkirk to try and salvage anything from this fixture. And Melrose trying to pick off from where they left off in the first half and just going direct and trying to attack. And Colvin was met with a little bit of pressure behind that scrum. And I think there's maybe a little bit afters in the 22 as well between Riddle and Colvin, but it's been dispersed and play is deep now inside the Selkirk half. And it's Beck, who again is having a reasonably good game for Selkirk, even though they've been up against it. Now McClyman looking to try and barge his way over, but the Melrose defence again for holding firm. As you can see, Will Owen is now on the field of play as well, and now that's going to hold up in the wind there. And let's see where the bounce of the ball is, and it's Crawford's been met with a lot of pressure there from Selkirk, and the bodies pile in, and the referee is going to give the penalty. And it's always difficult when they all pile in there, but he seemed to have a good look and award that penalty to Selkirk.
Yeah, pretty clear. The first Selkirk player was on his feet, straight on over top of the ball. Then the Melrose player came in, didn't clear him out.
Chad, I would expect. You're exceeding it at the minute, okay? Right, okay. It needs to stop. Right, okay. Yeah.
The referee just having a word with Ewan McDougall and just trying to keep discipline and keep on top of it here, which these fixtures do tend to boil over from time to time. But it's going to be a throw in to the line out, and it's James.
You need to accept it, okay?
James Bett, and I've been very impressed with Graham Ormiston. His communication is excellent to the players.
Very good. With the tackles, Bruce, all right? Yeah.
And it's going to be James Bett to throw into the line out. Yet again, he's been pretty accurate with his line out so far, and he finds Andrew McComb, who's been a relatively quiet customer in this first half, but he's retrieved the ball well, and that maul has been split in half by Melrose, but Selkirk look like they've still got it on their side, and Andrew McComb is just trying to get a better position to see where the ball is, and it's been brought down to earth there, and the referee is going to blow up and give the put into the scrum, and Melrose defending that maul really, really well, Robin.
Yeah, they did. They looked reasonably comfortable. You know, Selkirk started the half well, as they did in the first half, but yeah, Melrose again just looked like they could soak up what Selkirk had to offer there.
Most of the scrums did come to fruition, but on this occasion it's a couple of resets here for.
Available, we need to use it. Don't step left to try and buy the penalty. Forward on both sides. Thank you.
Graham Ormiston just setting his stall out again, letting them know that he knows the laws, and telling the front rows there's no tomfoolery in there to try and buy a penalty. And again, the scrum not coming to fruition here. In a couple of minutes here.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Just call it in if you see it, Mark, okay?
Graham also communicating to Mark Welsh, who's one of his ARs this evening, along with Bob Nevins on the far side. I don't think Bob's got a good look of it, but Mark certainly does, who has joined us for the Jed Hoyt game a couple of weeks ago on Borders Rugby TV, so he's vying for Iain Heard's spot on the mic.
On a night like this, he's welcome. I do inside commentaries, I don't do outside.
Colvin getting the ball away from the base of the scrum there. It was laid on a platter for him, and the ball's getting just transferred. And it's been well controlled there at the back from Jack Hamilton. He's, as I said before, he's a very capable sevens player. And you can see there he likes to try and attack and take on his opposite man. Throw in to the line out. And as came back on a Melrose side at the maul, and it's Hawkeyes there from Bruce Colvin. And he's looking to snipe down the blind side there and try and release Malin over the far side. And he's managed to evade a few challenges. He's been met there with Nixon, who certainly likes to put a shoulder into anybody who's not wearing a Selkirk shirt. And there's a bit of space behind there as well, and that's a pinpoint kick there. Great box kick from Melrose to get into the Selkirk 22, and this is the position that they are dangerous from. Finn Douglas is open the scoring this evening, the flying winger. He's really playing his first year in senior rugby, but he's looked very impressive, punching above his weight as well in terms of the physicality that he brings to the game. Throw into the line out, and again on the Melrose side it's Ross McConnell who secures that ball and makes sure that Melrose have got the pill to try and do something with here and try and get the opening score of the second half. Colvin finds Cruikshank met with Brown, and Brown looks like he's came off second best in that exchange. And now it has came back on a Selkirk side. He's been well swept up there by Bruce Riddle. And now McVicker finding McClyment. McClyment's just been swallowed up by the white wall here that meets him in front. And now McVicker having to try and steady himself at the back as the pressure comes on from Melrose, and it's a mistake there. Very rare mistake, I would say, from McDougall.
Oh yeah, I mean 200 plus games for a club. You know, every club needs guys like that. He has been an absolute warrior for Selkirk over the years, and he'll give absolutely everything for this cause, 26-0 down or not. And as you say, that was a little uncharacteristic error from him, but he won't let that get to him.
Selkirk's still in the fight as it stands. We've played 14 minutes here in the second half, and now Clark finds McDougall on the cut, going back into the traffic which is covering the field there for Melrose. And now Petty getting his first run with ball in hand here this evening. He'll be as passionate as ever, but Scott McClyment just heads up. He just tries to go straight through. He's seen a gap in the defence and picks up from the ruck. He had open field, but the covering defence there good for Melrose on this occasion. Didn't trust his sidestep, but just went direct. And now Clark looking to try and get the tempo up. Nixon now going quite lateral, gets over that far side to Davidson. And he's been again covered as that drift defence gets across for Melrose and averts the danger as the players eventually get there for Selkirk, and the sting of this attack has perhaps just been dulled somewhat. And it has came back on the Melrose side now. The attack there, and just when there's a little bit of hope in this Selkirk side, the little fire which is starting to burn is just extinguished quickly by Melrose. And now they look to try and steady the ship and try and get themselves into a better territorial position.
Stay on.
And it is Colvin who's kicking downfield with the wind at his back. Matty Francis is going to get his first throw into the line out, and he'll be hoping his arrows are pretty straight on this occasion, and they do that as he replaces Bet in this fixture. And McDougall now just getting himself over the 10 metre line. And Selkirk having to work very, very hard yet again to make any sort of yards. They do get the advantage here. They've got a free ball to play with. It's gone down the back, and Hamilton again coming out of the line, and that looked nasty. It looked like they'd almost clash heads, and Douglas was there looking to try and snaffle on the loose ball, but it was a nasty collision there just right in front of us.
Head knock, you just want to stop the game straight away just in case. You can easily restart the game, same team has the ball, but just don't take any risks. There's no point.
Scott Clark does kick left, and that's a good kick deep into the 22. It just sailed over the heads of the Melrose players. They just watch it just fly over them. Finlay Whelans is at fullback. He's replaced Sam Coburn, another promising player who's coming through the Selkirk ranks. Accurate from the line out, and Brown is looking to just take things quickly, stick it up the jumper and try and get a score here on familiar soil, even though it's not soil, it's 3G. And it's came back on a Selkirk side yet again, going round the corner and working hard to try and keep the tempo high.
Yeah, we still play advantage for the offside.
And the ball's not coming away quickly there for Ryan Legg.
Onside.
Selkirk again just trying to tease this door open, but it came back on the Melrose side. There is going to be another penalty as both teams ring the changes here.
Yeah. Okay here.
But it looks like Selkirk are going to want to try and go quickly as Scott Clark grabs the ball, and he just goes quickly over towards Ormiston, and Nixon's there. He's got a player on the shoulder. It looks like Callum McNeil might be carried over the line, and there is a score over on that far side. And that's a good try over there. Young Archie Penman. Selkirk secure the ball from the restart. Monroe Job with the ball in hand. And now it came back on the Melrose side. Wood gets the ball through the hands. And it's Ian Chisholm. The familiar stride of Chisholm. Ex-Jed and Inbrackes, to name a few, also up at the Highland. And now Ferguson taking the ball forward. He's got a little bit of attention there from McClymondt as the ball's played through the legs. He's now found Dobie, who's returned to the field. He's had a little bit of a break, and Colvin has got Ramage there, looking to try and get the ball through the hands, but they've been met very, very sternly there. Matty Bertram just tackled as he looked to try and break free from the defence. And now McConnell just looking at Selkirk really just trying to make a nuisance of themselves, get off the line quickly as Cal McNeil is up pretty sharp, but they've just went through the middle there. It was Thomas Martin who was there, but there's going to be a penalty to Selkirk. Throw into the line out, and Matthew Francis, who's a butcher in Selkirk. He doesn't butcher that, he gets the ball nicely in there. Particularly proud of that one, actually. And it's now came back to Selkirk yet again. There's going to be a stoppage here.
It's going to be a scrum here. Right.
The referee blowing up quickly. Let's.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Just speak to the medic. Take a minute. Yeah, take a minute. Okay. I wasn't sure if he's injured, but I'm okay.
That's a great example. The manager. That's exactly what we were talking about before, Herdy, wasn't it?
The other good thing is he's actually asked the medic to come on as well.
Okay.
Totally.
Because let's be honest, the player's going to say I'm fine.
Yes.
It's good that he's got him to come on, taking it nice and calm. Explain the decision straight away to Selkirk. They'll have the ball. Ask any better than that.
Yeah, totally. I think that's great refereeing there from Graham Ormiston. And it's found Gav Wood in the centre. It's now into Ramage, now through the hands. A good step back in field and another one. And it looks like Melrose are just getting closer and closer to this line. Can they get themselves over the whitewash? Doesn't look like they can on that occasion, but what a great run from Matty Bertram. And Melrose keep coming round the corner. They get the ball down. And what a break from Matty Bertram. And eventually it's Gav Wood, the man getting the plaudits and the pats on the back. He gets the ball down. And Melrose now re-establish that 26-point lead that they had earlier on.
Yeah, and right on cue, we said we needed something to spark into life, and Bertram provided exactly that. That was a lovely break. Some great footwork in there, and he was held up just short, sadly for him. But they recycled that, and there was only going to be one outcome from there.
It must be tougher than me, I'm freezing.
Back on the halfway line, and Ormiston just getting a little bit of banter with the ball boys, which is great to see. And the extras are added there as well, so 33 points to 5. But it was all about Matty Bertram there. And Melrose try to use the big runners to suck in this Selkirk defence. But Selkirk's defence holding pretty firm, and again.
Yeah, that looked bad.
Okay.
So Melrose still the current holders after they defeated Hawick 16 points to 10 a few years ago. 20 times winners, and it gives them a sniff of making it 21. Selkirk still have a game against Kelso to play, so this makes this pool really, really interesting, because Kelso currently sit top. They've got 4 points from that win against Melrose. Melrose will move top with 6 points, which certainly makes it really, really interesting. Going into that final fixture, Selkirk have to try and get something here to try and make it an interesting finale, or it's going to be a straight shootout between Melrose and Kelso, with Kelso to play Selkirk in the remaining fixture in that pool. It's due to be played later on this month. Kelso, who travel to Philip Hawke, but Melrose get the ball away. Now Gav Wood getting the ball over to Finn Douglas. Finn Douglas with the first chance to try and test this younger back three, but Papa Nixon's across quickly there to help out the youngsters, doing what these experienced players should be doing. Great work there for Nixon to get across, and Ramage getting the ball through the hands now, and Dobie.
I can't reward that. He needs to roll.
And try to snipe from the base now. That is Ewan Lindsay, the replacement scrum half. He takes play up to the 22, and these replacements starting to try and have a little bit of an influence on this game. Will Ferry being one of them.
Thank you.
And again, Lindsay is just having to get the ball away, and Melrose riding the tackle of Callum McNeil now. Gav Wood is looking to try and break free, and the ball spits out of contact into the air.
Two knock-ons.
Could be a knock-on there.
Melrose, second from Selkirk.
The free kick from the line out. It was a couple of stabs at it there from Matty Francis, but he wasn't able to get the ball into the line out successfully. It was maybe a free kick, and it's been taken quickly, and Lindsay was the player screaming for the ball, and Ramage now getting it to Wood. Again, another experienced player benefiting from the likes of the good work from Ramage, and Gav Wood again just scything through this defensive line, and McNeil yet again back in defence, but Gav Wood gets the ball down. 5 more points, he doubles his tally for this evening, and that almost looked far too simple.
That was powerful stuff by Gav Wood. Yeah, maybe some of the defending could be called into question, but all credit to the attacker on that occasion.
Right. Thanks for the
Yeah, I think he just wrong-footed Ross Nixon enough to dislodge that defence, and once the defence was dislodged, he had the pace to just put the afterburners on, and Callum McNeil again back in defence. But Ramage will be looking to add the conversion with his right foot, and it looks like it's just going to kiss the upright and bounce back into this side of the pitch. So the Selkirk look to go direct yet again. They've been swallowed up there, and it's been ripped, and it's Lindsay. Lindsay's got Dobie over that far side, and Melrose have numbers up, and Gav Wood, who's on for a hat-trick, does pass over to that far side, and it is going to be a score for Melrose.
Relax.
And it looks like Robin Sharp is the player who got the ball down. Good work from Melrose to get the ball over to that far side. Sharp with the try. Again, Melrose just showing their attacking intent, and when they stretch the ball, how good they can be.
Yeah, even this late in the game, keen to throw it about. The good work in there again by Jack Dobie. His hands have been immaculate tonight.
And it is the last play of the game. It is full time here in this Border League clash, and it is an emphatic victory for Melrose. They really put Selkirk to the sword. They breathe a little bit of life back into their own Border League campaign, but they perhaps put an end to any realistic hopes that Selkirk are going to add to their 6 Border League wins in the history of the competition. The oldest rugby union league in the world, one that Melrose have won 20 times. They're still hoping to try and make it 21, but it's an emphatic victory. It does breathe life back into Melrose Border League campaign, and they win here at the Greenyards on Borders Rugby TV. It's Melrose 43, Selkirk 5.
I mean, we came out and we got that break with the first play, and I don't know if that was a downfall or what, but from there on it was a very tough night. Like, hats off to Melrose. They came with a massive intensity, and we just did not meet that at all. I mean, we came here talking about like going for the Border League, like, aiming for that, because we've already got our 1 win in it, whatever, and we targeted this, but then obviously that's just happened, and oh man, it's terrible, like it.
We've got a few young boys stepping in there. Xander Ramage at 10, really good, built into the game class, and putting a really solid performance. Same with Finn Douglas in the wing. A lot of good young players coming through at Melrose just now.
2 of the youth club boys came off the bench. They just got registered this week, so they really got stuck in. Kent Finlay came on the wing, and Monroe in the park as well, and he didn't look out of place at all, like, for a young laddie. They did really well. Like, it's probably the more senior guys who didn't step up to the plate tonight, myself included. Terrible, like, but they boys are really good. Like, they were good.
We've got a lot of experience throughout the team, and as I said before, a lot of young players, so it's a good mix, but I think the young boys are just as capable as leading us around the field.
We've been on a terrible run, like, and couldn't buy a win just now. I mean, we've got Aberdeen away, which was pretty much the bottom 2 of the league. We've got there, we need to get a win up there, and then we've got GHA at home, and it's been a quick league, it's over and done with, but we need to take something out of it, so at least we can go into the sevens and then kind of start the season kind of some sort of positive note. Like,
we've spoke about it inside, it's a club that wins things, so anytime we can get a chance at silverware, we'll take it.